Willow Creek was a small town with quiet streets lined with tall oaks and maples, where life felt simple and neighbors shared smiles. Liam Everett, a 21-year-old singer, poured his heart into his music, but success seemed a far-off dream. His blue eyes sparkled with youthful hope, though his messy brown hair often fell over them as he strummed his guitar in the dim light of his room. He lived in a small apartment above his father's garage, surrounded by rejection letters from record labels, each one a sharp sting to his young heart. Music was his escape, a way to dream beyond the confines of Willow Creek, and he clung to it with a passion that defined his youth. Liam's family life was a heavy weight. His father, Tom, a mechanic with calloused hands and a stern gaze, wanted him to take over the garage, seeing music as a reckless teenage fantasy. Their arguments were frequent, Tom's harsh words cutting into Liam's confidence, making him feel like he was failing the only parent he had left. His mother, Ellen, had died when he was 13, her absence a constant ache that left Liam and his father struggling to connect. Tom's disapproval pushed Liam to doubt himself himself, but music was the one thing that kept him going. One crisp October afternoon, Liam walked into Brewed Awakenings, the town's cozy coffee shop, carrying his guitar. The shop was warm, with old armchairs, shelves of worn books, and the scent of coffee and fresh pastries. It was his favorite place to perform, a small stage where he could let his voice soar. As he tuned his guitar, he noticed a girl by the window, her pen hovering over a notebook, her face a mix of focus and frustration. Clara Wren, 18, was a college freshman studying English literature, dreaming of becoming a lyricist. Her auburn hair caught the sunlight, and her green eyes carried a quiet intensity, reflecting a heart full of unexpressed words. She wanted to write lyrics that would move people, but her creativity was stalled, weighed down by doubt and pressure. Clara's family life was a tangle of pain. Her mother, Diane, a librarian, was kind but distant, still scarred from Clara's father abandoning them when she was a toddler. Diane pushed Clara to succeed, as if her achievements could erase the past, making Clara feel like her words had to heal her mother's broken heart. Writing lyrics was her way to process her emotions, but the pressure made every blank page feel like a failure. When Liam began to sing, his voice filled the shop, raw and soulful, carrying the weight of his young dreams. Clara stopped writing, her heart stirring as his music seemed to echo her own feelings of longing and hope. Their eyes met for a moment, and she felt a spark, a connection that felt like it belonged to her. His voice unlocked something in her, stirring lyrics in her mind, breaking through her creative block. When he finished, the shop clapped, but Liam only saw Clara's soft smile, a gesture that felt like a lifeline to his lonely heart. He knew he had to know her. Liam approached Clara's table, his heart racing but his steps steady. He introduced himself, and she said her name was Clara, adding that his music felt like it spoke her heart. They sat together, talking for hours, losing track of time. Clara shared her dream of writing lyrics for songs, how she was stuck, her mother's expectations making every word feel heavy. Liam told her about his music, the rejections, and his father's harsh words that made him question his path. He spoke of his mother's death, how it left him and his father distant, their grief a wall between them. They found solace in their shared struggles, both feeling music was their way to express what hurt too much to say. Clara said Liam's singing gave her ideas for lyrics, and he said her passion for words made him want to sing with more heart. As the shop closed, Liam wrote his number on a napkin, saying he wanted to read her lyrics. Clara tucked it in her pocket, saying she wanted to hear more of his songs. That moment felt like the start of something real, a melody born of their shared dreams. Over the next few weeks, Liam and Clara became inseparable, their young hearts weaving together through music and love. They met at Brewed Awakenings almost every day, sharing coffee and creating together. Liam played his guitar, and Clara wrote lyrics to match his melodies, their talents blending effortlessly. Her words gave his songs depth, stories of love and pain that mirrored their lives. His voice brought her lyrics to life, turning them into something that could touch hearts. They felt alive together, their music a bond that grew stronger each day. One night, after a painful argument with his father, Liam invited Clara to his apartment, a small space cluttered with records and sheet music, smelling faintly of cedar. He was shaken, his eyes red, saying his dad called his music a childish dream and said his mom would have been ashamed. Clara held his hand, telling him his music was a gift, a way to keep his mother's memory alive. Her words soothed his pain, giving him strength he hadn't felt since he was a kid. Clara shared her struggles, how her mother's pressure to succeed felt like a chain, tying her to a past she couldn't fix. She said she wanted to write lyrics for herself, not to prove anything. Liam listened, saying her words were powerful and would move people. One evening, sitting close on his couch, Liam played a melody inspired by Clara's latest lyrics about love enduring pain. When he finished, they kissed, their lips meeting softly, a trembling moment that felt like their hearts had found home. They knew this was love, a bond built on music and trust, strong despite their youth. Winter came, blanketing Willow Creek in snow, and Liam and Clara's love grew deeper. They walked the snowy streets, holding hands, their laughter warming the cold air. Liam pulled her close under streetlights, kissing her gently, while Clara slipped lyric notes into his guitar case, each one a piece of her heart. Their music became their language, Clara's lyrics weaving tales of longing and hope that Liam turned into songs that broke and healed hearts. Their love was a refuge, but their families cast heavy shadows. Liam's father grew colder, his silence sharper than his words. One night, Tom said Liam's music was a betrayal of their family, a dagger that reopened the wound of losing his mother. Liam went to Clara, tears falling, and she held him, saying his music honored his mom and his dad's anger wasn't his fault. Clara's mother was relentless, calling often, telling her to focus and not fail like her father. Clara felt crushed, like her lyrics had to heal her mom's wounds. She told Liam she wanted to write for their love, not her mom's past. Liam held her tightly, saying her lyrics were her strength, a gift that would shine. Their love and music anchored them, helping them face their family pain. They spent nights under the stars, hands entwined, promising to be each other's strength, to create music that carried their love, to be the family they both needed. Their young hearts were fierce, but a new challenge loomed. In the spring, Clara received a letter that broke her heart. She was accepted into a prestigious songwriting program in New York City, a chance to study with renowned lyricists and refine her craft. It was her dream, but it meant leaving Liam and Willow Creek. At 18, she felt torn, her love for him clashing with her passion for music. She showed Liam the letter at Brewed Awakenings, her hands shaking, saying it was everything she wanted but losing him would shatter her. Liam, only 21, felt his world tilt, but he told her she had to go, that their love would endure. Their families made it worse. Diane was thrilled but said Clara couldn't fail, piling pressure on her young shoulders. Tom told Liam that Clara's leaving proved music was a dead end, urging him to give up. Liam ignored him, focusing on Clara. They spent the weeks before her departure clinging to each other, their young love desperate and fierce. They sat together as Liam played and Clara wrote lyrics, their fingers brushing over coffee cups, their kisses heavy with the fear of separation. At the train station, they held each other, tears streaming down their faces. Liam asked Clara not to forget him, and she promised she never would, saying he was her heart. As the train pulled away, Liam stood alone, his chest hollow, the silence crushing his young spirit. Clara watched through the window, sobbing as Willow Creek faded, her heart breaking with every mile. The year apart was torture for their young hearts. Clara threw herself into her program in New York, writing lyrics that poured out her longing for Liam. Her mother's calls were relentless, pushing her to succeed to prove her father wrong, making Clara feel like her art was a tool for someone else's healing. She wrote letters to Liam, her words filled with love and pain, saying his music lived in every lyric she crafted. Liam stayed in Willow Creek, playing gigs, his heart aching for Clara. His father's silence grew heavier, their arguments replaced by a cold distance that hurt more than words. Liam sent Clara recordings of his songs, each one carrying her lyrics, saying they were for her. Their phone calls were a lifeline, full of love but shadowed by the pain of distance. They shared Clara's published lyrics and Liam's growing gigs, but their family struggles and the miles between them made every moment bittersweet. Clara felt trapped by her mother's expectations, and Liam felt crushed by his father's rejection. The music industry's dark side added new pain. Liam visited a Nashville label, hoping for a break, but the producers were harsh, pushing him to sing shallow, commercial songs that betrayed his and Clara's art. They promised fame but demanded he sacrifice his soul, a pressure that felt overwhelming at 21. Clara faced similar struggles in New York, with mentors urging her to write generic lyrics for profit, not passion, crushing her youthful ideals. They leaned on each other through calls and letters, promising to stay true to their music and love. Clara sent Liam lyrics about fighting for their dreams, and he turned them into a song that felt like their heart, defying the industry's demands. Their persistence began to pay off. Liam's demo, filled with Clara's lyrics, caught the attention of a small Nashville label that valued authenticity. They offered him a contract to record his music his way, a victory that felt incomplete without Clara. He called her, his voice trembling with joy and longing, saying he'd done it but needed her. Clara was succeeding too, her lyrics gaining notice, and a publisher wanted her songbook and novel. But her mother's pressure to outshine her father's failures made her success feel heavy. Liam told her she was writing for herself, for their love, not her mom. They dreamed of a future together, their youthful passion fueling plans to create music as a team. Liam suggested Clara move to Nashville after her program, where they could blend his voice with her lyrics. Clara poured their love story into her novel and lyrics, and Liam wrote songs that carried her words, their art a testament to their bond. They vowed to fight the music industry's darkness together, keeping their music true. Liam tried to mend things with his father, inviting him to a show. Tom came, and though he said little, he hugged Liam after, saying his mom would have been proud. It was a small step, but it gave Liam hope. Clara visited her mom and said she was writing for herself, not to fix the past. Diane cried, and they began to heal, freeing Clara to create without guilt. Their love and music gave them the strength to face their families and the industry's shadows, their youth tempered by growing maturity. After a year, Clara's program ended, and she returned to Willow Creek at 19. Liam, now 22, met her at the train station, his heart pounding. When she stepped off, her hair glowing in the sunlight, they ran to each other, hugging tightly, tears falling. They said they'd missed each other, their love stronger than ever, their young hearts now wiser. They spent days together, walking through town, sitting at Brewed Awakenings, and sharing their music. Liam played songs with Clara's lyrics, and she read her novel, their art weaving their love into every note and word. They talked about their families, the pain of their parents' expectations, and how they were healing with each other's support. They shared their battles with the music industry, how it tried to strip their art of meaning, but how their love kept them grounded. On Clara's last night, Liam took her to the park where they'd first kissed. The stars shone brightly, the air cool and quiet. He held her hands, saying she'd helped him face his dad, the industry, and his fears, and he wanted to build their lives and music together forever. He knelt, offering a simple ring with a tiny star, asking her to marry him. Clara, tears streaming, said yes, her heart full. They kissed, their love a vow under the stars, a promise to face every pain and joy together as they grew into adulthood. Liam and Clara married in Willow Creek, surrounded by family and friends, their young love now a mature commitment. Clara, at 19, wore a white dress with daisies in her hair, and Liam, 22, looked at her with a love that filled his soul. They vowed to love each other forever, to create music together, to be each other's home through every storm. They moved to Nashville, where their careers soared as a team. Liam's songs, infused with Clara's lyrics, climbed the charts, their raw honesty touching listeners everywhere, defying the industry's push for empty hits. Clara's novel and songbook, inspired by their love, became a sensation, readers and songwriters moved by her words. They worked side by side, Liam singing at Clara's readings, Clara crafting lyrics for his albums, their love and music inseparable. The industry's dark side, greedy producers, manipulative contracts, tried to pull them apart, but their bond, forged in youth and strengthened by maturity, held firm. Their families began to heal. Tom attended Liam's shows, their talks growing warmer, their bond slowly mending. Clara and Diane opened up, their conversations easing years of pain. Liam and Clara became each other's family, their love a foundation that held through every trial. Every year, they returned to Willow Creek, to Brewed Awakenings, sitting in Clara's old booth, holding hands, their fingers tracing the table where their love began. They remembered the pain of their family's rejection, the industry's cruelty, the agony of being apart, but also the joy of their music, their love, their triumph. Their love was a story of overcoming heartbreak, of music that carried their young hearts into maturity, of a bond that turned pain into beauty. As they stood together, hand in hand, their eyes locked under the stars, their hearts were full, their love a melody that would echo forever, a happy ending woven from every tear and every song they shared.